the old gods of aisle 5. Welcome to our supermarket, the grand opening of Arcamart. With prices so low and deals so smart, we promise this will be your ultimate one-stop shop. Please take a cart, dear guest. Then take a breath. Yes, we know the wheels are squeaky, but if you listen closely to the keening, you'll start to hear the words the bearings are all but screaming. Aisle 8, wet food, dry food, cat food, dog food, puppy training pads, kitty litter for racists' cats, and the aquariums. Run if you hear splashing. Aisle 1, bread, beans, brains, and baked goods. Aisle 2, frozen meats, frozen meals, frozen desserts, and the pulpy, rotting remains of some fleshy vegetation, frozen in place mid-creep. Even in those icy depths, the parts and pieces wriggle, reeking of something not of this earth. Aisle 4, seafood, fish, crabs, shrimp, and lobster. Don't miss this week's featured dish, calamari so fresh you'd mistake it for alive as it goes sinking down your gullet to rest and writhe within your stomach, sliding, squirming around your insides as it digests your life. Aisle 6, chemicals, including saline, chlorine, hemoglobin, chlorine, acetic acid, hyaluronic acid, hydrochloric acid, and freshly squeezed cerebrospinal fluids. Aisle 7, baby diapers, maxi pads and tampons, paper towels, linen towels, toilet paper, linen mops, sponges, and shop bags. Here you'll also find sticky candies, doughy cookies, and assorted sodas and other snacks. Aisle 3, coffee, drink mixes, tea, and the wall of bulk goods. In the middle of the aisle, just behind the New England chowder, you'll find a hole that you can gaze through and peer into forever. Forever and beyond. Into the void that is aisle 5. Through that eternal peephole, that wound upon our universe, you will glimpse those ghastly things, and the cans of soup will ring with the echoes of wet and meaty slaps. Legless things slithering make waves as those viscous, sanguine liquids lap at the sores of titanic horrors, trapped and bound and craving to be released from an aisle no one ever notices in a backwoods country store. Aisle 5. That's it, yeah. All right, this one is from the perspective of a customer, trapped in aisle 5. You lost track of time and left home in a hurry, forgetting your packed lunch of fruit snacks, veggie sticks, and last night's curry. On your journey to work, you decide to stop off at the store thinking, I'll get some items to make lunch for the week, like bread, some cheese, and an assortment of deli meats. You navigate your car into a potholed parking lot, proceeding under dark, churning clouds, into your local Arcamart. The bread and cheese are easy to find on the edges of the store, aisles 1 and 9. Not spotting a deli, you look up to see a sign. It reads only meat in emblazoned letters beneath a glittering number 5. The wheels of your mini cart protest and whine as you push through the resistance and into the aisle, the wheels screeching, subsiding all the while. You don't notice, of course. You're too confused and surprised. Before you, aisle 5 stretches on for miles. A corridor of rows and shelves. You turn to go back the way you came, but there's a wall there now, packed with boxes of pasta shells. Tentatively, hesitantly, you proceed forward, past canned goods and sundry items, all stamped and packaged and labeled and wrapped in an unknown brand, with an eye that stares, compelling you to buy something. You begin to panic, staccato steps quickening, while the eyes on the shelves stare and a sickening tension mounts. Now you're rapidly breathing. Above, umber clouds have obscured the ceiling. Hanging down from that sky on thick umbilical wires, the lights chill your spine with a cold blue fire. Your head starts to pound, sweat pools in your clothes, yet you sense a dark, vacuous emptiness encroach. It grows from beneath, below, underfoot, down past cracked tiles and a rotting foundation. Something rises up through the dirt, hungry and ancient. Still, from the shelves, those eyes stare, smiling and smirking through their malignant glares. Though those eyes on their packages have no mouth you can see, in your mind you keep asking, how can there be so many teeth? From below it rises, from above it descends. The eyes wish to feast, but they're waiting on friends. The aisle grows darker, smaller, confined, and the last thing you sense is the loss of your mind. Then all goes dark, and as you untether from space and time, you drift in the void, if only for a moment, before you find yourself asking the deli attendant for 5 pounds of roast beef, sliced extra fine. That's it. All right, because capitalism and competition. This is called the Grand Mall. Hello, dear customers. Are you tired of shopping somewhere small like a podunk country store? Do you crave to consume something a whole lot more? Then forget the Archimart and ditch the Thothco. Join us at the city's heart for the grand opening of the brand new Grand Mall. With countless floors filled with stuff, enough shops to sate that gnawing itch to purloin and purchase tchotchkes and kitsch. Floor 58 is nothing but bling, rows of shinies and plastics and precious things. Floor 42 is funerary supplies, prices marked down, so stock up now. Sooner or later, everyone buys. Do you have an urge, a compulsion, an addiction? No, don't answer. It's a rhetorical question. At the Grand Mall, we have everything you need. 3 gyms, 5 adult stores on floors 65 through 70. Food courts can be found at regular intervals. Each level has a confectioner, a baker, or chocolatier. Take the lift up to the heavens, where you'll find posh bars with niche beers. Perhaps you're looking for something more refined. If so, I recommend Sub-Basement 9. And if your niche interests should leave you disheveled, you'll find a hospital system infecting the 4th, 5th, and 6th levels. It may come as a shock, but we accept all types of insurance. If you're an organ donor, we even offer financial assistance. That's it. Okay, here's the most recent one. Archimart goes west. 81 years, that's how long Archimart has been around for. We've surpassed all expectations and so much more. The world has so loved our little country store that after some careful planning, we've decided to go on tour. We'll move out past the Pen, creeping into West Virginia, where we'll dig ourselves into the Appalachians, spreading savings that will impress. And what trip could be complete to this ancient mountain? Sorry, that is. Am I too close?
You're good.
We'll move out. And what trip would be complete to this ancient mountain range without visiting a few good old friends who will help us further forge the chain? You'll be enraptured with our selection, desiring nothing else. Our brands may seem foreign, but in time we're confident you'll become obsessed. Yes, Archimart is growing, and we're eager to embrace the change. That's it. Okay, and then here's one called Employees Only. In the back, past the door marked Employees Only, run hallways bereft of any sane geometry. There you'll walk corridors that despise lines curving always just out of sight. One might call them non-Euclidean, though that would suggest that at some point in recent history, they had made improvements. Ancient doors stand here and there, and if you try the knobs, you'll soon find every one of them locked, despite hearing shuffling on the other side, or low moaning whines, or the cacophonous ticking of clocks. The skeleton of a drop ceiling crisscrosses above, the panels pushed and broken as the pipes prodded and shoved, like intestines distended down into the hallway, casings packed tight with steam and sewage, or wriggling conduits for power and Wi-Fi, and pneumatic tubing. The yellowing walls are accentuated with some strange rust-colored rot from leaks and blown-out valves. None of this phases you, of course. You're not scared of a few leaky pipes. You only feel terror grip your heart when the intercom squawks, "Clean up on aisle 5."
All right.
one of those ones that you put away and don't look at for like a year, and then you go back to and it's like, oh, this is actually kind of fun. So, I've never read this before. It's called A Dating Profile from the Far Future Interpreted by a Time-Traveling AI. Hi, I'm Alpha Lice. Images are from 10/23/33. Please make sure yours are just as recent. I'm looking for a mid to long-term, intimate social endeavor, either solid or be a hog. Hog is a derivative form of hologram. There is no confusion with the pig, since pigs died out more than 4 generations prior. I'm big on drinking, spitting, and shooting. Translation unclear regarding the last act. By the 31st century, human anatomy had lost the capacity to withstand the operation of manual concussive weaponry. Additionally, spitting and shooting ceased to be used as sexual euphemisms circa 2273. Or going for long romantic walks at the Beach Museum and Archive Extravaganza, brought to you by Bezusk. That is its full legal name. Following their digital neural uploads, Jeff Bezos and Elon Musk proceeded to engage in a bitter cyber war that would lead to the loss of 3/4 of the global population. In an attempt to save humanity, the DICs, or digital consciousnesses, were transferred to a self-contained simulation and subsequently launched into high Earth orbit on one of their rockets. Less than 100 years later, Bach, or Fruit of Knowledge, formerly Apple, would absorb Amazon and Tesla. Bach would then create a subsidiary, Bezusk. All Bezusk-sponsored locations would quickly evolve into sites of religious worship, eventually leading to an outreach campaign with themes such as, "Let Bezusk take the wheel." Every new convert would receive a free Tesla Rhombus, which had been blessed by Priestess Alexa. Each vehicle would also contain a free copy of the Holy Terms of Service as an audible add-on to the car's compulsory music subscription service. There was also Bezusk Gloves Me, a sexual practice that will come into prominence in 2416 among Bach practitioners. If I'm feeling frisky, I might visit the Club Flotilla in the Sea of Tranquility. The Sea of Tranquility is now an actual sea, following a publicity stunt engineered by an ultra-wealthy YouTuber. In an attempt to make the ocean fart, creator Bach the Earth would succeed by blasting 15% of the planet's total water supply into space, where it would eventually be collected by the moon. This event colloquially became known as the Great Oceanic Shart. Bach the Earth would later go on to officially found the Fruit of Knowledge religion after his Kindle Fire, quote, instructed him to. But that's about the most adventurous I get. I'm a pretty simple, protein and starch type of person. Steak hasn't been publicly available for 400 years, 200 for potatoes. If that kind of life sounds interesting, swipe through. Communication devices, by this point in time, consist of neural implants. To swipe through is to push one's finger forward past the onboard display. Originally, the technology possessed a haptic feedback function which acted as a notification. It was quickly discovered, however, that the notification would match the force of the swipe, leading to several months of pushing through, slapping through, punching through, and bifflering through. The effect was eventually turned off, unless the individual had the hashtag #KinkFlare selected in their profile. That's it. Okay, now we get into the maudlin stuff. Repeat this poem once a day for the rest of your life. Today will be like every other. 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 Today will be a good day, a great day. I'll do something. I'll make something. I'll get something done. Today will be okay. It would be better if there wasn't this sense of impending dread, this creeping terror bubbling up as the sun slides across the sky, only to be swallowed by the horizon. Day melts into night, and with it comes bedtime. I crawl into my fluffy, overpriced micro-sarcophagus as I choke back anxiety and restlessly fall asleep, knowing that tomorrow will be the same as any other. That's it. Geology poem. All that glitters isn't gold. And to that I say, good. If I wanted something shiny, I sure as hell wouldn't choose the AU. I'd fill my cup instead up with bismuth. If I'm a fool for standing sulfides of iron, then hand me my dunce cap and handfuls of that glorious, sparkly golden pyrite. I'll be a lumberjack come paleontologist, filling grassy bowls with petrified bowls, stony memories of ancient elderberry trees, dug and pulled from the bowels of the Carboniferous. You can keep your diamonds, emeralds, and rubies. They're merely rocks. When compared to chrysoprase or chalcedony with lustrous nickel and quartz inclusions, I'll pass on the pearls. It's just sand and bivalve snot, sapphires and turquoise, topaz and peridot, pale when compared to the burning chatoyance of tiger's eye or the fiber optic splendor of raw selenite. Bring me flint from a hill or rotund stones from a river bank. In a pinch, I'll appreciate beach glass, litter weathered round by water and sand. I'll pass on those gems which you call precious. They're just baubles, little bubbles of geological flatus, sniffed and coveted by the ignorant and savage. That's it. Okay, we're gonna go back to Eldritch Horror, apparently. This is called The Grass is Growing. Studies have demonstrated that grass can scream. It's been proven that dandelions can talk, can adapt to rapidly changing conditions. Plants in the modern age are a part of rapid evolution. They're not just decoration, not some inert living carpet. They can learn and pivot in spite of our manipulations. Yes, the grass is growing, changing, adapting, remaking itself with every generation, every season, every mowing. Beyond the cities, beyond the fields, deep in the hollows and forests and hollers, the grass has grown unsettled, determined to be something taller, something greater. Blades of verdant ire now wave with chilling intent, weaving patterns in the air to lure the careless or arrogant to show one last, a living show before dinner. Stalks of Kentucky blue now eschew the boundaries of classification. They took a cue from the wayward mangrove and now scuttle and dart on burl-kneed, leggy roots. The crabgrass, in its typical fashion, asinine as ever, prefers to stay right where it is, claws buried beneath the loam, except, of course, when it needs to divide, when we'll find a warm and pulsing host, where tiny eggs will be injected in a rich, nutrient bone marrow. Yes, the grass is growing, changing, and adapting, remaking itself with every generation, every season, every mowing. That's it. All right. Fun with words. This is called Best Served with a Chilled Portmanteau. How do you make a soup out of the elusive fell swoop? Start with a heaping spoonerism of one fell swoop. One swell food. Once you have gone and started by rearranging letters, dredging out the well isn't too much extra labor. The F that served as seasoning is now ready to come out. If fastened fingers don't seem to work, just find a fork and fish around. Now you have an F to give when a friend is feeling down, or if you wish, you can propagate it by planting it in the ground. The well and F are gone, and Wilford Brimley would be proud of a tasty soup from one whole fell swoop that you dressed and